Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to do a demonstration of how you can make an impactful difference to how your space looks and feels with just a few small tweaks. So it's a zero spend, done in a day demonstration, and it was quite unplanned. I'm actually staying at a friend's place for the weekend. I'm cat sitting for him. And he has told me in the past to feel free to reorganize his space anytime I want. I haven't done it much, but on Friday night, I was lying on the sofa and I was watching some TV with the cat on my lap. And there's a table that acts as a TV console at the moment, and it annoys me. So I spent the evening while I was watching TV also rearranging the living space in my head. This is a terrible affliction I have. I've had it for a long time, since long before I studied interior design. I can't help myself. If I'm left my own devices in somebody's home and I think something's a little off, I'm just rearranging everything in my head. So this was going on for me on Friday night, and then on Saturday morning I just decided I'm going to do it. So here's a quick look at how things were before I started. So the plan that I did have in my mind didn't actually work out. I was intending to move that table that acts as a TV console to a part of the room where it's less obvious and less noticeable. And I was going to put a table lamp and style it with books and plants in the corner, and then move a really beautiful antique drop leaf table. It currently lives behind that TV table in the kitchen area, and it's a family heirloom, but it's really not getting any opportunity to shine where it is because it's a bit tucked behind the other table, and there's some chairs and other bits and pieces of clutter in and around it, just generally blocking it, and it's not being shown off very well. So I thought that could be the TV console instead. But things didn't quite work out to plan, as you'll see as we go along. Now, if you do start to rearrange furniture in a room in your home at this time of year, you will probably, when you start to pull things out from the corners, start to see cobwebs and dust that have gathered over the winter months that weren't that visible to you before. But as the light gets brighter, they become more noticeable. So I would encourage you to take the opportunity to have a bit of a spring clean. As you see, I did that here. And do that no matter what time of the year, because after you've played around with different layouts, if you don't find something better and you end up putting everything back exactly the way it was before, you will still notice a change in the room, a change in the energy, a change in the atmosphere. Things will feel lighter because of the cleaning. And so you will still have given your space that lift that you were looking for. Even if everything goes back to the way it was before, there'll still be a lift. So here you see me moving the TV table into the corner I had imagined. But as I'm looking back at the corner where I've moved the other table, it's bugging me. Something is off. And what it is that the scale of the table is too large for the space I've now moved it into, and it's just not working. So I have no choice but to move it back. Now, I do have a couple of other ideas to change up the space as well, and they are to bring in an armchair that's in the spare bedroom and not being used at all. So bringing that into the space to help generate more of a conversational area here. And also this lovely table, which has been hidden away in the kitchen. It's been used to store cat food and covered with a throw to hide the cat food. But the upshot of that is that the lovely table is hidden. And so I've just found a new spot for the cat food and brought this table in here, and it adds a really nice touch to the space. And, you know, things can look amazing in your head. And when you try it out in reality, it just doesn't work. You just need to play with things and see what works and what doesn't. And, you know, tweak things here and move things there until you hit on a layout that looks and feels good to you. Please ignore the chaos that I've created in the background. Things usually get worse before they get better when you're doing something like this. I did sort it out later. So I took a break for a few hours to go out and meet some friends. And when I came back, the light was going. Most of what I wanted to achieve in the living space was done. It was just the mess that I'd created in the background needed to be resolved. So I did that off camera. But waited until the next day, until we had daylight again, to film it and show it to you. So here we are the next morning, and this is how the space is looking. And even though it's not a major change, there's definitely a different sense to the space. I have a second friend who also lives here, and he was away for the weekend, but when he came back, he commented on the spring-like feeling that was now in the room. He didn't really, it's funny, I had to ask him what has changed. He needed a little help to figure out what the different changes were. It was more the feeling that he immediately picked up on, and without any prompting from me, picked up on the energy lift in the space. So as you can see, very small changes, but the space feels calmer and more inviting. And I sent a video to my friend to get his reaction, and his response was, "I love when you come to stay." So I'm going to take that as a positive affirmation of what I've done. And I'm also going to quickly show you this alternative arrangement that I did off camera. This is a lovely setup that I have done before in the space for the summertime, which orients out towards the garden. It's just not the right time of year for it just yet, which is why I didn't leave it in situ. And I hope this has been a useful demonstration for you, that it doesn't take a whole lot. We haven't spent any money here. The few small little things that I've added to this particular space was already in the house. There's a new cloth on the table. I really didn't like the gingham oilcloth that was on it before. It didn't add to the aesthetics in any way. But in the process of clearing things up, I came across this green table, and I didn't iron it. I don't know where the iron lives in this house, but that's okay. It's serving the purpose because the table underneath it is in very poor condition. And my philosophy is your home doesn't need to be perfect. It's all about making the best of what you have and really supporting the energy, the mood, the functionality of the space, and creating an aesthetic that feels good to you, but without having to blow your budget to do that. We're all different, and some people need things to be just so, and that's fine. If that's you, go for it. I don't need everything to be perfect, and neither do the people who live in this house. So I didn't worry about hunting down the iron. I just wanted to create a small change that would make things look and feel better than before. My approach to interior design is all about supporting our well-being, that we're creating homes that nourish and nurture us. So I hope you've enjoyed this, that it's been useful, that it might inspire you to make some small changes yourself. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.